Well, it's a glorious winter's day here in the northeast of Australia. I thought I'd catch up on my video diaries. I know I haven't done any for ages. Now, I will warn people, there's no great elements of garden design shared here today. It's just a stroll around a plant nuts garden, basically. This is the Courtyard garden, and I'll start with my lots of pots spot, which is basically that. I just keep lots of pots. At the moment, it's mostly foliage plants, beautiful dracaenas, lovely tree ferns, they're the little dwarf tree ferns, a few colas, chrysandras. There are little native violets in this pot down the front, which I love. And at the moment too, these gold dust dracaenas are flowering. I don't see those flower spikes very often, just lovely at the moment. And I have a couple of hanging pots up here. Streptocarpus, just starting to bloom, getting ready for spring. Now, as I said, it is a glorious winter's day here. The peanut trees, Tequila, is fruiting at the moment. They're all green, but they go an orangey colour and then a bright red colour in the next couple of weeks. And of course you can see the tree is deciduous at this time of year, so it's dropping its leaves all over the courtyard, which does cause a mess. Okay, so here's one of my zygo cactus blooming. This is a very old-fashioned variety, I don't know the name. Those beautiful cerise flowers. Actually, that's waning at the moment. It has been covered in bloom since getting towards the end of blooming. As I walk around, I have a little pot of geranias which has been cut right back after flowering. It's coming back. Some oleanders that were struck coming along. Some New Guinea impatiens back there. Some spiral gingers which I literally stuck into the pot and they've started growing. Yes, now over here is the gorgeous euphorbia, our snowflake bush, which blooms in our winter time. Absolutely beautiful. It should really be in full sun, but it seems to survive in that little spot. And cycad, a few pots of begonias and little angelonias which were cut back so they're not flowering at the moment, and my trusty salvias. I love the colours on these. This is a hybrid, it's called Dusky Hues. Collis. And there's some more of the Dusky Hues. Gorgeous colours. And actually hiding away under the cycad is a few little bromeliads in there, and one is about to bloom. Great. Oh. Yes, now our peace and quiet is about to be disturbed by a plane crossing over many miles up in the sky. These are what our winter days are like usually. Blue skies, lovely fluffy clouds, gorgeous temperatures, and it's usually peaceful out here. Coming around to the other side of the courtyard, I'll just wander back a bit. I've been so pleased with this caladium. I got this little one last year, tiny little bulb, It's doing so beautifully. As are Courtyards, which again were ones I just stuck in a pot and they've done well. Oh yes, now my pilia, my aluminium plant, is blooming. I don't think I've ever noticed blooms on it before. I have to say, I've been rather dismissive of this gorgeous plant for quite a while. I think that might have to change. And tucked away over here is another caladium philodendron, which seems to survive in this tiny pot with little trouble. And cane begonia that I'm waiting, should be blooming soon. One of my dwarf azaleas. Actually, this poor thing needs repotting. It's been in that horrible pot for a number of years. My favourites, the plectranthus. This is Mona lavender. But coming to the end of its blooming cycle, I really should cut it all back, but I'm waiting till I see the last of those gorgeous. They really are quite stunning. Little purple flowers. And behind that, another euphorbia. This is the little hip hop, it's called. My Tabernae Montana up here. It's just starting to begin another blooming cycle. Oh yes, there's a couple of little pots of petunias up there. I've got to have petunias this time of year. Best time for them. This poor azalea, however, something's been attacking it. It's had some sort of problem and hasn't really recovered. I need to get to the bottom of that. It's not looking all that healthy. Gardenia, that was rescued from an old lady and has come along beautifully, but not flowering right now, of course. There's pentas in a pot. Love the colour of this. And more of my gorgeous salvias. I'm smitten with the colours of these, I have to say. There are lots and lots of foliage plants around here as well. Now this bed at the back, that is an established bed. It's been here for ages, but if you look carefully over in the distance, my favourite Mussaenda, it's the white blooming one, is blooming. Okay, coming back around over there too, you can see the old-fashioned red flowering Ixora starting blooming again, or gearing up for springtime. Oh yes, every year my Cleome suffers. It's always around about the same time of year. I think this year it's spider mites, but being treated. And I do so love white, and this is one of the double flowering impatiens that I have at the moment. Petunias, of course. Oh, and this beautiful snapdragon. Just go in. It starts off that gorgeous orangey red colour, almost pinky, and then turns into yellow. It's fabulous, and attracts gorgeous butterflies. Up here around the pond area, there's lots of potted plants. The Angelonias doing beautifully as always. In the back there, the Gomphrena, which is planted in the same pots, just going to seed at the moment. I'll be collecting that soon. Geranias, always a favourite of mine. And just the most fabulous foliage on this colas. There is a black and blue salvia in amongst all of that too. It's not flowering. Oh, down the front. Where is that? Big, blousy, double white petunia. And that pesky little butterfly. Crossandras in the back, including a little piece of variegator which popped up in this other pot of Chrysandra, which is also in amongst Ixora. And just a few more petunias. Now, up around here is the pond area, which I have managed to drain, but hasn't been finally cleaned yet. And this was the area that really suffered when the pergola had to be reconstructed, but it's coming back. Jasmine is coming back and starting to climb up again, which is a joy to see. And I've added a few new plants. One of my favourites is definitely this gorgeous salvia. I think it's a rosebud salvia. It was passed on to me by another very kind gardener, and it's doing so beautifully in that spot. There's also a few Milliards tucked in little corners, and I've got some colas, angelonias trying to come along in these spots. So let's just have a look back around. So as you can see, this area is coming along quite well now. Just need to really finish cleaning out the pond. Jasmine's climbing up the pergola. All starting to look a whole lot better. And that's pretty much my courtyard garden.